worldwide. Will the outgoing Prime Minister impress upon the incoming Prime Minister the huge importance of maintaining access to the EU single market during Brexit negotiations in order that we can maximise the black country contribution to exports, productivity and jobs?
Well, I absolutely agree with the honourable gentleman. What we've seen in the West Midlands is 173,000 more people in work under this government, and we have seen something of a renaissance in manufacturing, particularly in the automotive sector, some of which is indeed in the black country. And it is vital for that industry that we have proper access to the single market, and I think he's right, this is going to be one of the things we've absolutely got to focus on. I want automotive, aerospace, these high-quality manufacturing firms to go from strength to strength in our country, and making sure we get that vital access to Europe is going to be vital.
Robin Walker. 10 years ago today, I was applying to become Conservative parliamentary candidate for Labour-held Worcester as my right honourable friend was uniting the opposition and preparing it for government. Like so many on these benches, I entered this House in the week that he first became Prime Minister. And since that time, unemployment in Worcester has halved, apprenticeships have doubled. We have more good and outstanding schools, beginning to receive fairer funding. Wages are up and taxes are down. Can I thank my right honourable friend for all his service to our nation and for the legacy of improved life chances he will leave behind?
Well, can I thank him for his kind remarks? We've seen unemployment fall in all of these constituencies. We've seen the claimant count go down. I think more important is we now see 450,000 fewer children in households where nobody works. And thinking of the effect of having a parent or a loved one in work, helping to put food on the table and provide a role model for their children, that's really what this is all about. So I thank him for his kind remarks.
Carol Monaghan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Between broken vows, Brexit and the likely renewal of weapons of mass destruction on the Clyde, the Prime Minister has done more for Scottish independence than many of us on these benches could ever hope to do. So, as he contemplates a move to Aberdeenshire, could the Prime Minister now make his commitment to Scottish independence official by visiting snp.org/join?
What I'd say to the honourable lady, and indeed to all the SNP members of Parliament, is when you have Lord Smith himself saying that the vow to create a powerhouse Parliament was kept, the SNP should pay attention to that and recognise a promise was made and a promise was delivered. I've talked many times at this dispatch box about creating this powerhouse Parliament. What I haven't seen is the SNP using any of the powers they've now got.
Finally, Mr. Kenneth Clarke.
Mr. Speaker, can I first of all join all those in thanking the Prime Minister for the statesmanlike leadership that he's given to our party and to the country for the last 6 years, and to thank him particularly on this occasion for the debating eloquence, but also the wit and the humour that he's always brought to Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday. And can I ask that, as no doubt he will have some plans for a slightly more enjoyable and relaxed Wednesday morning and lunchtime, nevertheless he will still be an active participant in this House as it faces a large number of problems over the next few years. As no two people know what Brexit means at the moment, we need his advice and his statesmanship as much as we ever have.
Can I thank my right honourable friend for his very kind remarks? I remember one of the toughest conversations I had in politics was actually when I was Leader of the Opposition, and I was trying to get him to join my front bench, and he was on a bird-watching holiday in Patagonia, and it was almost impossible to persuade him to come back. Not many people know this, but actually his first act as Chancellor of the Exchequer was to fire me as a special advisor, and I'm very proud of the fact that one of my first acts was to appoint him to my cabinet in the coalition government, and I know the then Deputy Prime Minister will join me in saying that he provided great wisdom, great thoughtfulness, great ballast at a time of national difficulty in the advice that he gave us. He's not always the easiest person to get hold of. We've tried. Tory modernisation has never quite got as far as getting Ken Clarke to carry a mobile phone. He did briefly have one, but he said the problem is people keep ringing me on it, which was. And we had to move, I seem to remember, in opposition, we had to move our morning meeting to accommodate his 9 o'clock cigar. But I will watch these exchanges from the backbenches. I will miss the roar of the crowd. I will miss the barbs from the opposition. But I will be willing you on. And when I say willing you on, I don't just mean willing on the new Prime Minister at this dispatch box, or indeed just willing on the front bench defending the manifesto that I helped to put together. But I mean willing all of you on, because people come here with huge passion for the issues they care about. They come here with great love for the constituencies that they represent. And also willing on this place. Because, yes, we can be pretty tough and test and challenge our leaders, perhaps more than some other countries, but that is something we should be proud of, and we should keep at it. And I hope you will all keep at it, and I will will you on as you do. The last thing I'd say is that you can achieve a lot of things in politics. You can get a lot of things done, and that, in the end, the public service, the national interest, that is what it's all about. Nothing is really impossible if you put your mind to it. After all, as I once said, I was the future once.